Alright everyone, it's Brad here. No, I'm just messing. It's Adam on my knees. Alright, I just want to thank the beautiful Rochelle in the background here. Guys, with the 28-day body challenge, we've switched around what we're going to be doing for the body compositions this time, and we're putting the power in your hands. So what you need to do is prepare yourself with a tape measure. We're going to be emailing you a goal and a body comp sheet, so hopefully you can get a bit of a picture of that. What you need to do is organize a time with your buddy. Now you can either do this at home, or what we're going to do is we're going to set up a couple of weigh-in and measurement stations, one here at our PT studio and one at our boot camp location as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to go through the measurements with someone, and what points to look out for, whether it's a guy or a girl. And yeah, if you have any issues with it, obviously we're going to be there to help you. We are also going to be available on the day which is this Saturday between 7 and 9 to do some body composition. So if you feel like you can't do it, then let me know. But if you're being lazy, I'm going to tell you go do it with your buddy, because we want you guys to keep each other accountable. And also, it's only the comparison between who takes them the first time and the second time that we really need for this 28-day challenge. Okay. So when you go through the form, obviously you need weight, so you need a set of scales. Now if you want to use our scales for your weigh-in, you can just remember that between the PT studio and the boot camp location, there's a 1 kilo difference. Alright, the PT studio is 1 kilo heavier than boot camp location scales. So if you've been on both, make sure you decide which one you want to be. If you want to be heavier this time or lighter, your choice. In terms of measurements that we need to take, now I'm going to come away from Brad height and stand up. With the shoulder measurement here, what you want to try and do is have a look where the armpit meets the arm. So right here underneath, alright, you want to take it just where the armpit is. Get your partner just to hold it there. Alright, once you've got it there, get them to spin around. Now, we can do that a little bit better. I have to get a new promo girl. Alright, now once you've got it here, alright, just make sure always with your tension that your tension's consistent. So it's a little bit of a pull. Alright, make sure it's tight. You don't want to squeeze it too tight. You don't want to make it too loose either. Remember, this is an honest system for this 28-day challenge. Once you've got it there, alright, just check it. Alright, take it down as a centimeter. If you've got a set of tape measure that is in inches, you can still do it in inches, but centimeters is just nice and simple depending on what you've got. Alright, so once I've got the shoulder measurement, write it down there. Okay, next one, alright, is navel, alright, or waist. Waist is easy, okay, it just wants to be the most narrow point. So if you have a look at Rochelle's arms here, most of the time for women you'll find it's around bottom rib. For guys it can vary, alright, sometimes it's bottom rib, but sometimes it's down around their hips, alright, just below their belly button. So sometimes for guys with waist, I'll take both just to see which one is the most narrow point, because with the waist measurement I do need it to be the narrowest point, okay? So the waist, same thing. Get on the side if you can hold that. Thank you, Rochelle. Spin. Alright, same thing. Once I've got it there, check tension. Just make sure it feels consistent. Have a look at the number. Take the number. Write it down on the sheet. Alright. With navel and belly button, alright, for some of you who've had measurements with us before, this is an important one just to remember. Obviously, navel, belly button. Alright, for some people, different heights. What I want you to make sure you're doing with your buddy is, if navel's up here, more around your waist, and you find that they carry a little bit more weight, a little bit lower, try and take it at the widest point. You want the navel measurement to be the widest point around here, and remember the waist was the most narrow, and we really need to make sure that the ratio is different between the two. If you are a bit more of a block shape, that's okay if you find your measurements are similar, but if you're carrying a little bit more weight through the front, make sure you take it there. So for example, if navel was there, but I know she's carrying a little bit more, a little bit lower, I'm going to go a little bit lower, get her to hold it there, spin again. Alright, same thing. Check tension. Alright, once you've got the number, write it down in the sheet. Pretty simple formula. Okay, with hips, same thing. I'm going to get Rochelle to stand side on here, show us her booty. Alright, with the hip measurement, what you want to try and do is make sure it's the widest point around. Some people say, well, my hip bone's up here. Yep, but in terms of the ratio, we need it to be the widest point. So, what I want to do, have a look at Rochelle. Now, she's gotten a lot tinier in the last few weeks. This is harder for me to do, but you can hold that there. Thanks, Rochelle. Spin around. Alright, and always trying to make sure, too, that the tape measures straight behind, that you're not coming up on an angle. Alright, once I've got that there, check tension. Write the number down and we're good to go. Okay, 2 more measurements to go with this one. Thigh measurement. Alright, always do right side. The only reason why you always do right side is just because it tends to be a little bit bigger in general. Alright, it doesn't matter as long as it's the same one each time. Okay, so with this one, it needs to be just below our bottom. So coming in here, now this is one I tend not to dive in for. So if you want to let your buddy adjust it for you, you can. So it should be just above bottom, below bottom, sorry. Alright, take it around, same thing, check tension, get the number, alright, and write it down. So that's thigh. Alright, last one we've got here is bicep. So massive cannons, what you want to do is have a look where shoulder drops down. Alright, now the point where the shoulder drops down is deltoid, sort of top of bicep. You'll feel with most people there's a little hole there. With hands, alright, what you want to try and do, okay, is get it not that way, alright, but just flat. So dropping down, same thing, hold it just at that point where it drops down. Whoop, once you've got it there, spin around. Now they shouldn't be flexing at this stage. If they are, tell them to relax a little bit. Alright, check tension, alright, got the number, and put it down. So in terms of all the measurements, those are the only ones that we need. So it's just a matter of recording them all on your sheet. Once you've got it on the sheet, I'm going to show you guys on a little short video where to enter them into the software. Once they're in the software, you got to click save. Make sure you've updated that, alright, and then keeping in mind that at the end of the 28 days, on that final week or final weigh-in, you're going to be responsible for catching up with your buddy and making sure that you do measurements and weigh in again. Alright. The other part of this form that I want you to do with your buddy, just so you get to know each other a little bit more, find out a bit more specifics, alright, is there's a goals section in here. So what you want to try and achieve in the next 4 to 6 weeks, some long-term goals, what your commitment's going to be, and you can make this your commitment to your buddy, you can make it your commitment to the 28-day challenge. Then on the back of this sheet is your follow-up. So it's, you know, have you achieved your goals? How do you feel now that you have or haven't achieved them? Right, and if you didn't, why not, and what stopped you? So it's a bit of a reality check at the end of the 28 days to see if we've done what we plan to do. So good luck with it. Like I said, if you have problems, we're here to help. It is a simple system. It's just a matter of checking your measurements, making sure your tension's consistent, and from there, going online and entering it into the system and pressing save. But I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video.